Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. So we're going to get going here. And welcome today to our webinar on Mastering Warehouse Productivity with R Plus for Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. So my name is Jeff Lem. I'm the President and CEO of Portable Intelligence. But on the agenda today is I'll talk a bit about our company, Portable Intelligence, why inventory management matters. I'm going to get into a little bit of a story as well with respect to a company we're currently working with. And really the four core processes you need to master, the what and the how. Then we're going to get into a demo and then allow for any questions and wrap up. As well, we'll be providing a copy of this presentation to all our attendees as well. Thanks again for joining, and here we go. So about us, we offer integrated warehouse management solutions that drive warehouse agility and inventory accuracy. Our solutions are designed for manufacturers and distributors looking to optimize their processes with the addition of labor and or space. We've got a couple of awards as a top 5 recognition as a warehouse management startup, and we also won a couple of awards from the local area as well. Some of our customers, we span a wide range of industries, which allows us to bring a lot of best practices that we've gleaned from various other companies and industries, and allow us to stay ahead and bring those practices into your shop. For example, on the labeling side of things, we've learned a lot and drawn a lot from our automotive customers. From our food customers, we're heavy on trace and compliance as well. Again, that supports all the other customers that we have who are using our products. About myself, I've been involved in hundreds of WMS implementations. I have an MBA and also a professional designation in materials management, and also author of a book. It's available for free download. You get a new copy of it from our website. I'm joined today by Annie Esther, who's going to be our business analyst, as well as doing the demo. Mohan, who's going to be available at the end to answer any Q&A, and then Prabhu, who's going to be also doing a demo actually on a real handheld device that you would conceivably use in your warehouse. Why inventory management matters. And this is a little diagram that we put together. It's actually one of our clients. It's their vitamin manufacturer. And they've got a number of different processes, as you can see here. And a part that is received is typically handled up to 9 times by up to 5 different people as it moves. And all the red bubbles are all the things that can happen to the part, resulting in poor inventory accuracy or lack of visibility of the product itself. So it's about managing your inventory so you don't get these issues happening, which could affect downstream processes. And I can start today with the 7 stages of how inventory gets to be so out of control. And this is a company we're working with. They're an Indian spice importer. And so I'll start with their stage 1. They started off as a purchasing arm for an Indian grocery chain. They were so successful at doing that they expanded and spun off into do basically purchasing spices and related products and selling to other retailers. They started off with fairly limited range with little or no write-offs. At that time, life is really good. Business grows in stage 2, volumes rise. They start buying more volumes of those same SKUs, and they're starting to storage in more bulk storage locations. So they're making use of those. They're creating space for pallets in large cases. At this stage, life is still good. And then under competitive pressures from competitors, both their volumes and SKUs start to increase. They're starting to run out of the room. They're making more and more space for bulk storage. And in their words, life is busy. And in stage 4, they're now buying on volume discounts and juggling lead times, or leaning on their suppliers to give them better discounts so they can promote weekly specials. They're also seeing more stockouts, which is leading to more frequent inventory counts, lots of new processes, and they're starting to see an increase in customer returns. In their words, they're just staying one step ahead. In stage 5, they've brought on a lot of new customers into their warehouse. They're now dealing with customer delivery schedules. They're supporting omni-channel fulfillment, meaning they're doing drop ships on behalf of their customers. They're doing EDI and ASNs. They've also got lots of specialized processes depending on which type of customer they have. And they're also seeing delays between what is shown in their system and what's actually happening on the floor, anywhere between 2 or 3 days. So in other words, they'll receive something, do a put away, and it might take a couple of days for actual numbers to show up in their system. And in their words, they're reaching a tipping point. They're feeling they're reaching a tipping point. In stage 6, they're now doing things like kitting, co-packing, light assembly work for their customers. They're handling high velocity items. They're seeing warehouse turnover, and they're hiring for the first time warehouse temp staff. They are basically out of warehouse space at this time. They're just barely staying alive, in their words. And in stage 7, they're now seeing for the first time penalties for non-compliance, whether they're shipping late, not putting the right label on there, or shipping the wrong items. They're having to track lot numbers and trace and be able to supply those numbers to their customers. They're also handling online orders for their own stores. They've also starting to see their tenured warehouse staff retiring. In their words, inventory is at best in the 80 percentile range. Inventory levels never been higher, and now they're faced with moving into a new warehouse. Amazingly, they've been able to run all this business out of a 60,000 square foot warehouse, doing about $150 million in sales. They're going to be moving into a 500,000 square foot warehouse, so quite a big jump. But again, it's a question of how do they handle all this inventory, and they've never had really a system to manage. It's all been manual. So why is it important to get inventory control? Obviously for cost control, customer satisfaction, operational efficiency, which leads obviously to the bottom line. And then forecasting. You can't forecast unless you have accurate inventory numbers. And bottom line is it's essential for staying competitive in the marketplace. Now we'll get into the 4 components of the processes that you really need to master in order to keep your inventories under control. A lot of companies go through the practice of actually putting up barcode labels on their locations, doing labels, putting labels on the product, buying equipment such as this device from Symbol or now Zebra, as well as having portable printers. They think that's all that's needed. The reality is you have to do the work around these 4 processes. This is like joining a gym, getting this equipment, and never actually going to the gym. You need to do the work, which is consisting of these 4 basic processes. So I'll get into these processes now. And you'll also be seeing them in the demonstration from Annie. So first is inbound, which consists of receiving a put away. What you're going to be focusing on is incoming goods, vendor data, such as lot numbers, supplier labels, which is, you see here, existing labels that you might be getting from your vendor. You might want to set up inspections and quality control, and you want to capture at a minimum the PO number, quantity, and lot number, so it goes straight into Business Central. And you may want to capture pictures as well to support damaged goods claims or missing goods from your supplier. And as this is a typical picture of receiving area, it's often quite chaotic, to say the least. And you've got a terminal there, you got printers, and it's quite busy, to say the least. The how you're going to be getting this under control is, first of all, you're going to receive against your PO and RMA numbers. You're going to set up hold locations. Ideally, you should be scanning your supplier labels through the vendor barcode setup in Business Central. You'll have on-demand labeling, meaning you'll produce the labels as they arrive. You need to relabel product. And then you'll be scanning to your put away bins, as you'll see here, where a person is actually scanning in advance, where they're going to be doing a put away. As well, this is a real life picture of a client of ours that was actually using Post-it notes, that you can see here, and writing their internal part number on it, when in fact all they have to do is just scan this barcode. So once we set up this vendor barcode within their part profile, they're able to just scan it, and it gets translated into their internal part number to support a better receiving process. Next is inventory itself. So what you're going to be looking to do here is support lookups to supporting picking You want to record transfers as they happen. You want to support inventory counts. You want to be able to support transfers between facilities, and you want to support labeling. And here's examples of what customers have been doing in the past. You've got a customer. I've had one customer walk around with these printed out reports, which shows where all the product is in the facility. I've seen these control cards being actually affixed to locations in the warehouse where they actually write down all the movements. And then another example of a customer actually writing down what's in each bin as they take product in and out of there. How you want to do this is you want to support paperless lookups. You want to have inventory counts being on the device. You want the system to be real time, and you want to have the ability to print product basically out in the floor itself. And these are types of screens that we will present to you, and you'll be seeing them in today's demo. On the outbound side of things, you want to be able to focus on order picking, customer label, order consolidation, packing, and pick lists. Again, here are basic examples that customers are using to support their various activities. You've got, again, picking from a dispatch list. You've got a shipping pick list that pickers would be going through the warehouse, and then handwriting what gets actually shipped, and this actually goes into the box, or they make a photocopy of it. One part goes to accounting for data entry, the other part goes to the customers. Ideally, what you want to be able to do is support certainly more sophisticated types of picking, so you're now consolidating your orders across multiple orders and multiple customers to support a more efficient pick process, using things like license plate picking, where you're picking everything to a single pallet and then using that license plate label to ship it out. And you got on-demand labeling and printing as well to support it. But bottom line is you're doing everything digitally. You're seeing the orders here, as you see here, along with pictures to assist people to identify what needs to be picked. And then you're executing the warehouse shipment, all of it updating Business Central in real time. And finally, on the labeling side itself, we see a lot of this happening where, prior to a label pick being generated or an order being picked, or, picking for manufacturing or shipping purposes to the customer, we're seeing a lot of labels get produced in batch. So we're seeing receiving labels get produced in advance. We're seeing item labels, shipping labels, license plate labels. They're all produced in advance, which means requiring to hold them before the order arrives. And then, of course, you see companies apply these quarantine labels to product that arrives that doesn't quite pass, or they're subject it to a test before they actually release it for the warehouse. So a lot of labels being produced in advance. A lot of it needs to be tracked. How we do it is that we integrate your labels, your production, into the workflow itself. So it's basically on-demand label printing. We print it at packing and shipping areas. We also have third-party software integration to products like Nice Label and Bartender. And why we went third-party, for the basic reason, is that there's so many different printers out there. We use a third party to generate those labels, which in turn also gives you the ability to design your own labels to produce it on demand for your own customers. But bottom line is you have a simple label interface screen that you see here on RF Plus. Again, you'll be seeing it in the demo, which then would generate that and apply it to a pallet before it's shipping. And often that label can be specific to the customer as well. So those are the 4 key elements. So I'm now going to turn this over and turn off my video to Annie, who's going to run you through a receiving, put away, labeling, inventory movements, and lookups, as well as pick and shipping demo. So I'll stop my share and over to you, Annie.
Thank you, Jeff. Let me share my screen. Yeah, so I hope my screen is visible. Good afternoon, everyone. So today I'll be presenting our new RF Plus application for Business Central. So our RF Plus is a PWA application, which means like it is a browser-based application, but still it can be installed to your handheld devices and can be used just like another application. So this can be used in Android and iOS based handheld devices. So moving on to our application, as we launch the URL, so let me load it for you. So as we launch, so we'll have the RF Plus image, and then it takes you to the Microsoft login page. So to log into RF Plus for Business Central, we don't have separate credentials or anything else to log in. We can just use our Microsoft logins. So I'm just using my Microsoft login and my password. So as you sign in, this will be your first page. So this is nothing but the environment that you're logging into. So it will remind you of what environment you're getting into. So this is something that we set as default in our RF Plus. So if you wanted to change your environment, you can change. Again, the environment means you have like the sandbox environment, the production environment, and the testing environments. So those can be listed here, and you can change it anytime you log in. So I'm just using this environment today. As you click OK, it will list all the company names under that particular environment. You can have like any number of companies within. So this is listing all the companies that I have access to, and then I'm choosing one. And that's it. So as you click OK, you're here onto the RF Plus for BC application. So I'll just give you a quick layout information. So here on the top left, we have the the side menu. So on that, you'll have the login information, the environment that you've logged into, the company name, and all the basic informations about the user. And then we have all the menus here along with the settings and the logout buttons. Next to the side menu is the warehouse or the location name. So this will list out all the locations that the user has access to. So in this case, I have access to like two locations. So I can switch between locations from here. And then, as I mentioned earlier, it's our application is a PWA application. So when you're on your device, say you're launched this URL on your browser, you will see this button enabled, so that as you click on it, it will be downloaded to your device, and you can see a small icon on your device. When you click on it, you can use it from there. You don't have to open your browser every time. So that's the purpose of this. And then we have the logout, and here comes the main modules, which is the inbound, inventory, and outbound. So this is the basic layout of the application. And then moving on to inbound. So in inbound, we have PO receiving and putaways. So on the cards, you'll have the number of orders and the number of items that are available. So as you click on the PO receiving card, it will take you to a page where it will list all the purchase order that are released and that are like waiting for receiving. So here also we have an option to scan the purchase orders and item names. So wherever we have the item names and bin codes and everything, we can just scan it. So maybe let me scan a purchase order. So as I scan the purchase order, I can see all the items that are displayed. Let me choose one item. So when the item that I scan is a traceable item, so it'll be like indicated like this for the user, and then it has the item in number, the line information, the basic information about that particular item, and everything. And then we have the bin. So the bin we have here is the RECV, which is defined in Business Central. So when you set up your location, you define the default bin for receiving. So we are bringing in from that. If you have like multiple bins under the receiving zone, we can also edit it from here. Now say I'm entering some quantities here. Let me say 25, and as I enter, so I have used this item as an item which has an expiry date. So let me choose one. As I choose my expiry date, then the control comes to the lot ID. So here I have two options. Either I can auto generate the lot ID, or I can scan in the lot ID that I already have. So say I'm receiving a product that already has a lot ID. So I'm scanning it. As I scanned it, it is automatically updated. And now that I have another field called previously received, and it says 1. So when I click on the I button, it shows the lot that I just scanned. So this is the lot I just scanned, and I have added 25 quantities of it. So this is how I use an existing lot ID. And say if I wanted to use an auto generated lot ID, I can say enter some quantities, choose an expiry date, and then I just click on this button. So it will be auto generated and that item will be received. So now my previously received should be updated to 2. And when I click on the I button, it should display both the lot IDs. So this is how we deal with the lot-based traceable items. The same kind of behavior applies for the serial trace items as well. Now let's do a regular item. So when it is a regular item, I don't see the trace item indication here. So all I have to need is just enter the quantity and hit the update. So now that I have received two lines, so I can see that by checking this pending to post. So now that I have received, but I have not really posted it. So posting is when the transactions and everything will be updated to Business Central. So now I have 35 on this line and 25 on line 3. Let's go ahead and post it. So during this process, this is when the lines, the purchase order, the quantities and everything, including the lot ID information and everything will be posted to Business Central. So now I see a success message with the receipt ID. Let me quickly switch my screen to Business Central and show that once. So this was the order that I used today. So, yep. So here we can see I received 35 quantities on line 1 and 25 on line 3. So as you post it, that is when we update Business Central. So likewise, we, in most of the transactions, when we post or register in RF plus BC, that is when we update Business Central. So now that we have received it, so say if I wanted to print a label, so on the line, so when you click on the card, so it will just expand, and on that you'll have print label option. When you click on that, the quantities that we just received will be auto populated. We can still edit it. I'm leaving it as 25 for now, and then let me choose a printer. Number of copies, I'm leaving it at 1, and I click on print. So when I print, so it will be printed. Let me quickly show you a printed label. Yeah. So the order ID is 106037, and the item that I used is 1015, and the quantity is 25. Yeah. So likewise, we can print labels whenever required. And then we have an option to capture pictures and upload images during our receiving. So to do that, just on the PO header, like where the PO list will be shown. So when you click on any of the cards, you'll see an option called capture. So when you click on this, since I'm on the desktop, when I capture, it will ask me to upload pictures from my device. And when you're on your handheld device, it will actually open up your camera. So we have Prabhu who will be demonstrating it at the end of the session. So now for now, let me add some paperwork. So I'll say receipt. I'll save. So when I save it, this will be added to my purchase order. So this can be also used when you receive some damaged product or something and you just wanted to capture it and use it when you try to return it or something. So in that case also you can just go ahead and capture the pictures and save it to this particular work order. Sorry, to the purchase order. Yeah, that is all on the purchase order receiving. Now we are done with our receiving. So now let's move to our put away. So in put away, we list all the items that are received but are yet to be put away. Let me choose an item that we just used. So I will try to scan a lot ID that I just received. So as I scan it, the available quantity is automatically populated and it will say 25, and I can do either a partial put away or a full put away. So if I'm making it 25, I also this this bin is suggested based on the put away template that is defined in Business Central. So the system will populate the bin, and we also have an option to edit it. So we can also choose a different bin while during put away. So I'm choosing a different bin. I'm entering the same 25 quantities and I hit update. So this 25 quantities will be put away to that particular bin. So now I don't see that lot anymore. So it's completely put away. So put away is just simple. So if it is a lot, you can just scan the lot or serial. If it is a regular item, you can just type in the quantity that you just wanted to put away. That is pretty much on the inbound. So now moving on to inventory. So in inventory, we have the warehouse movement, inventory lookup, and inventory count. So when I say warehouse movement, that's nothing but the inventory transfer to move inventories between different bins. So here we have like two scenarios. One, we can create moments in Business Central, and those moments that are created in Business Central can be processed and registered through RF Plus. The other option is you can create movements and register them right away from RF Plus. So when you have movements that are created in Business Central, that is when you see these cards. If you wanted to create a movement, you can just click on this movement and create a movement and then register it right away. So I'm not going to show that completely. It's just an overview. So these are the lines that are created for this moment in Business Central, and these lines can be moved right away. And then moving on to inventory lookup, we have three options to look up the inventory. So one, we can look up by item ID or like item name. The next option is by bin, and the other option is by the lot ID or the serial number. So when you look up by item, so let me scan for an item. So when you open the item, so we have the item image. So this is something that comes from Business Central. If there is an image added to the item, it will be displayed. We also have an option to upload images through RF Plus. So say for example, I'm trying to upload a picture for this item. So it's a chocolate. I'm saving it. Yeah, it's updated. So likewise, I can add or edit images from RF Plus as well. And then we have the item number, the item name, and the unit of measure and other informations. And we also can view if the item is blocked for the inventory or blocked for sales. And then we have these counts here, which against the inventory, the count, this denotes that this much in count we have in our inventory. So when I click on the I button, it will list all the bins, zones, and information. So in this particular bin, INV01, and the zone is INV1. So we have 55 quantities of this item. And since this is a lot specific item, I can view the lot ID. So when I click on it, it will display all the lot IDs, its respective quantities, and the expiry date. So likewise, I can view all the bins and zones which contains this particular item. Now on the supply order quantity, it shows 2310. So when I click on this I button, it will list out all the purchase orders that are created for this particular item, and these are yet to be received. So we have total quantity on supply is 2310. So this will list all the vendor names, the vendor ID, the order ID, and the expected date of receiving. And then we have demand order ID, which will display the sales orders that are purchased that are placed for this particular item, including the customer information and the quantities that are to be shipped. And then we can also print the item label from here. Just click on the print label and you can print any number of labels for this particular item. And then we have the item pricing. The item pricing, when you open it, you can define different kinds of customer groups in Business Central, and you can define separate price for different customer groups. And then we also can have different prices for different customers. So whichever we define in Business Central can be viewed from RF Plus as well. So in this case, for this item, we have different customer groups like gold, silver retailer, and we have different prices specified for those customers. This can be viewed from here. And then we have the sales price and discount. When I click on the I button, it will list out all the pricing, the line discount that are in specific to customers. So different customers can have different line discount and different prices. So those that are defined in Business Central can be viewed here. And again, this feature will not be available for all the flow users. It will be specific to the warehouse managers alone. So whoever has access to the pricing, only those people will be able to see this section. So that is pretty much on the inventory lookup. Likewise, we can also look up by bin. So when I go to bin, it will list out all the bins and zones available. I can again sort it by ascending or descending order. And then if I open a bin, it will list out like all the items that are available in that particular bin. So when it is a lot or serial, I can view the lot or serials just by clicking the I button. This is the lookup by bin. And then we have lot or serial. So it works the same way as the other two screens. Just scanning the lot or serial will take you to that particular item and the details. So that's all on the inventory lookup. And then we have inventory count. So again, the physical counts that are created in Business Central will be listed here. So you can create inventory counts by bin or by entire zone or for even the entire location. So we support all of those features and combinations. So say for example, we have this batch, which is default, and we have lot items. So when I click on this, it will list all the bins and zones that are subject to be counted. Now let me open up an item. Say I have 5 quantities and I'm doing a physical count here, and say I only found 3 of it. I'll go ahead, select the lot, and I'll say no, I just found only 3, and I hit confirm and I hit update. So as I update, my line will be updated and the control will then go to the second line available. So if I'm not counting this particular item at this point, I can just click on skip and this will take me to the next line available. So likewise, I can move ahead and I can do my physical count. So now I can see that this item has been updated. So my system calculated quantity was 5 and now I only found 3 during my count and I've updated it, right? Likewise, I can also add a new item. So if I'm doing my physical count, I just found another item on the same inventory, then I can just go ahead and add it. So maybe I'll pick some random items and I'll say I found 10 quantities of it. I say update. So I can see that it is added to my list. So the calculated quantity was 0 since system didn't found this item during its physical count creation. Now I have entered 10 quantities. So likewise, I can add any number of lines while doing my count. So that's pretty much on the inventory count. So now let's move on to outbound. In outbound, we can do picking and shipping. So in picking, we can do it with separate or individual sales orders, and we also have wave orders, nothing but we can combine multiple sales orders into a single warehouse shipment in Business Central. So those combined shipments can be handled in RF Plus, and those will be listed under the wave orders. So let me do a simple picking process. Let me scan a sales order. So this will list out all the lines that are available for me. And then let me choose an item. So as I scanned an item, it's asking me to select the bin from where I wanted to pick this item. I'm choosing it. And then here we have an item verification part where I will scan the item again and make sure that I'm picking the right item. So my item that I'm picking and the one that is on the sales order should be matched. So this is a kind of verification that we do during picking. And since this item is a serial specific item, I have the select serial number field. So as I click, I can select any number of serial numbers that I wanted to. Say in this case, I'm just picking 5 and I hit confirm. And also we have this progress bar which will show the progress. So if the in progress will be displayed in this orange color, and if that is already picked, then this progress bar will be updated as green. Now I've picked 5 quantities. If I just wanted to edit or update, I can do it from here. Now I'm picking this. Let me go ahead and pick another line now. It's a regular item, so let me pick this bin. I'll verify the item again. Now I'll just say 10 quantities of this and pick. So now that I can see that the pending to register is updated as 5 and 10. In this line, we see it as 0 because we haven't picked it yet. So in this case, again, as we saw in purchase order receiving, we have just picked, but it is not updated in Business Central. So to do that, we just click on the register picks. So when you click on that, so that is when the pick will be complete in Business Central. And my quantities went back to 0, and these quantities are updated from 0 to 5 and 10 respectively. Now let's go ahead and do a shipment. So I've just picked it and I can do the shipping through warehouse shipment. Now I see that I have 2 items and I've partially picked. So I have my pending to ship is 0 because I haven't selected the quantities that I wanted to ship. Here in this case, it says the outstanding quantity is 60 and the quantity that is available to ship is 5 because we just picked 5. So those quantities are listed here. And when I say select serial, All those 5 serial numbers that I just picked will be listed here. We can also do a partial shipment. I'm doing a full shipment now. I hit confirm and submit. So now my pending to ship is updated as 5. Let me also try to update some quantities here. I'll say 10, submit. So now I'm doing a post. So when I post it, it will actually update BC. Yeah, since I've completely shipped it, the line is completely removed from here. Yeah, that is all on the picking and shipping side. And coming to wave orders, as I just mentioned, so it is a combination of orders. So if in this case the warehouse shipment ID is this, and we have the number of orders is 2. So when you open it, you can see the number of lines here, and all the lines are displayed here. So this is just the combination of multiple sales orders, and the process remains the same. The picking process and shipping process is the same. So that is pretty much on the outbound side as well. And I'll just quickly show you about the admin settings. So this admin settings is nothing but the settings, or the place where we maintain the printers, and we can add and maintain templates, and we can also view the images that we added to the purchase orders and others during receiving. So the first section is the printer maintenance. So this is where we can add any number of printers, and we can assign users to those printers. So only the added users will see this printer while printing it in RF Plus. So that is printer maintenance. We can add printer by just clicking on the add printer button. And then we have template maintenance. So this is our standard templates for the bin label, purchase order label, item label, and the shipping order labels. So we can have our labels here. We can also update the server folder name from where the templates are actually pulled from. And then we can define the number of copies that should be prompted. So if you define it as 5, then when you try to print it on the screen RF Plus, you'll see 5 copies by default, but still you'll be able to edit it from there as well. So just to add templates, you can just click on the add button here. Then coming to the image list. So we added few images while doing our purchase order receiving. So let me pull the same order that we did. So this is the image that we uploaded. So we can just look for the purchase order, and then it lists all the images that are added to this. From here, we can view and manage it. We can also download it to the device and use it during our email. So say for example, if there's damaged product and you just wanted to write an email with the picture, you can just download it and add it to your emails. Yeah. So as we have it in the purchase, we also have it in the shipping. So during our shipping and picking process, we can also capture images and store it against our sales orders. So that is all from my side. Now I hand it over to Prabhu, and he will be giving a quick demo on how to capture images through a handheld device. Over to you, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you, Annie. Let me share my screen with the TC21 device. Yeah, yes, Annie provided details about R plus BC in the browser. So it is installed on a TC21 and functions similar to the Android application. So I'm clicking on that application. Selecting the default environment, similar with Annie. and company. So I got the inbound. So document, clicking on inbound, and so document can be uploaded from TC21 device or a plus BC support image upload for various user reference purpose such as purchase, invoice, product damage, and other options. User can utilize this upload function to easily upload invoice and damage broken products. So inbound particular order, I click on that, it's expanded it. Once expanded, I will see that capture option. So from I can take photograph. So after taking photograph, it will be redirected back to our plus BC. Now I will select the paperwork and fill it out the PO invoice. And click on save button. The image will be saved on the order card. So similarly, I can take the photograph of a damaged product. So I got a damaged one already. So I take the damaged product. So after taking a photograph, I will redirect it back to Aura plus BC. Now I will select to the damage and fill out the detail for the damaged product. So and then click on save button. The image will be saved on the order card. The same function is also available in the outbound picking order. Outbound and picking order. So then I order card, I clicking on that order card, it will be expanded, and now I will see that capture options. So from which we can upload the document similar with the inbound. That's it. Over to Annie. Any further?
So thanks, Prabhu. So thank you. So I think we can just open for the questions answer period now. So if anyone has any questions, so you can post the questions or you can ask it directly. I don't know. DJ, do you want to allow them to talk?
Yep, of course. We had some questions come in, so if you want to just read those off, and then I'll
You want to go through those questions, Mohan?
No, I don't have. So there are two questions we posted, and because those are common questions, typically most of the customers ask. So the first one I already answered, the first question is, what are the system requirements for Aura Plus? I answered also, does Aura Plus support on-prem BC version? So we do support from BC 14 to 20 on-premises versions. So if we, there are, does anyone have any other questions? You please post it here. I can answer.
You can either unmute the mic or type it first.
Okay, doesn't look like anybody has any questions, but feel free to reach out to us, directly if you have any further questions. I want to thank you today for attending, and we look forward to working with you in the near future. Thanks again, Mohan, Annie, and Prabhu, and yeah, have a great day.